Hi and welcome to a Ruko School tutorial about the oval 5-pin locks and how to take them apart if you, as a lock sporter, need to show the internals. If you are not a lock sporter, there's no need to take your 5-pin apart. You should bin it and upgrade to something like a D12 or something even better than that. So 5 pins, don't take them apart, take them out of service. So, but lock sporters, you take your locks apart and you like your Ruko 5 pins because they are way harder to pick than the junk that are sold in America, and they are still easier than our high security, so you can actually get them open within reasonable time. So if we have a look at an oval here, and this tailpiece here is for a normal modular lock set, and this C-clip can actually spin, and if it gets to a point where it's actually over here by the tailpiece, it can assist this to turn. Like this piece can fall out, and now you just have a cylinder that's free spinning, and you have a lock that you can't operate from the outside, and you need to be seriously destructive to get in. So how do we prevent this from happening? And as we can imagine, when someone makes a solution to avoid this, it's because it does happen, and has happened a lot in the past. If we look at the C-clip, we can see that it's just a folded piece of brass, and the opening is actually so that you can take your locking ring pliers and get in here by the edge in the opening and spread it to lift it off for rekey purposes. But the modern ones, as we can see, are much longer, and they're actually made in 2 different steps. So the inner section closes completely, holding the tailpiece in, and the outer section is shorter, so that gives a gap that makes it possible to open it with our lock ring pliers. So this is the modern solution, and that's why we do not need this odd thing that I'm going to show you. So in the modern ones, you would just normally, when you get a 5-pin, you will see the tailpiece has this piece here, and that is actually sort of like your wafer discs you put in your American padlocks to prevent any means of manipulation through the keyhole. So and it works as a spacer so that it prevents this tailpiece from falling maybe sometimes a bit too deep. If your lock set is a bit worn out and this spacer plate is not here, then this can sort of sink a bit deep, and then it skips, and then you're also locked out. So this is the modern version, but that thing does not prevent that it rotates. So to do that, they made this one, and this is a cap that is put on top to prevent the C-clip from rotating. It's actually holding it in position. But to get it off, all we have to do is take a small screwdriver, and then we pry it up. There's enough space that it's designed so that it can be lifted a bit, and what we need to do is locate the opening in the C-clip, and then we just spin it so we get to pull the key out a notch so it won't spin, and we just turn this a bit until we get to the opening, and then we can lift this off, and we rotate the clip down to the bottom. Take a set of locking ring pliers, insert it and push it open, and then we can take this one off. Then we take our Ruko follower set, which is made of the one for the 6-pin and the one for the 5-pin, and as we can see here, the follower for the 5-pin fits outside the 6-pin one, and all the old 5-pin before this version with the S sleeve uses the inner diameter, and this is actually the same dimensions as the S sleeve. So when we put this at the end, turn the key, it doesn't matter where we leave it, because as you can see when I push this out, it makes a perfect line. So there's no openings. So all these openings in the rear are perfectly covered up with this. So if you don't have this, you need to use an old style follower, do make use of a shim, and also to put it back together you need a shim to cover this edge here, because otherwise it will completely seize up when you try to push it back, because these are filled with most likely the gin bottles if it's original, or barrel pins if there has been repinned recently. So yeah, and when you want to push this back, you slide it back in, pull your key out a notch so you don't drop everything. Then you take your C-clip. That's one of the new ones. We take one of the old ones, we put it on. Just need to push it open a bit more. I think this one was the one we used. Let's see if we can. There we go. And then we take a pair of pliers and we compress it. And then we can rotate the opening, and then we can take this construction here. You can see that it's curved down to allow for this extra movement necessary to clear the clip, and then we sort of just slide it back in. If we can get it in, and then we can rotate the C-clip out of the way. Maybe need to compress it a bit more. See, that's why we don't use these stupid 5-pins anymore. So again, rotate to get it to stay, and then we can push this back down to, might need to use some pliers to squeeze it back on, but basically that's how it's done. So all for this one. Till the next one, bye for now.